The Writers Guild of America is on strike again. And what these individuals do not understand is how replaceable they are. All you need now is one guy in a room with ChatGPT. And you're probably going to replace a team of 10, if not 20 writers. Don't believe me? Try this experiment. Go to ChatGPT right now and ask it to write you a movie about George Floyd in the style of H.P. Lovecraft. And then ask it to write it in the style of Michael Bay. And you're going to be amazed. Like, literally, all you need is one guy that comes up with the concept for a movie, puts it through ChatGPT, asks it to spit it in a style, and then he reads what was written, changes a few things, does it again. You do this a couple of times, and I guarantee to you, you're going to get stuff which is miles above Hollywood. I mean, it doesn't even compare. So, all the writers are now protesting, and you have like this website where you can support them. And apparently they got $11,000. I mean, that's a lot, $11,000. I know YouTubers which have their Kickstarter campaigns for comic books and stuff. They make more than $11,000. The reality is most people do not want to donate. I mean, I would be afraid because I don't know where my money goes. Like, what if, like, heaven forbid, can you imagine if your money goes to support the writers of Velma? I mean, that is a scary thought, isn't it? Or what if your money goes to support the writers of Star Wars? I mean, you have writers that flat out hate you. Like, they go on Twitter and they express their hatred towards people of certain gender, certain skin color, because it's acceptable, all these white men, the white men are coming and they do that. It's not for you. Why would I support these individuals, right? So, yeah, they're on strike. Last time it happened, it was actually very bad for the American entertainment industry because you had the actual talented writers that went on a strike, and the quality of entertainment has been downhill since. Because what a lot of producers realized is like, what if we champion diversity and we say that we need to replace the writers with more diverse people, but the diverse people don't really have experience, so they're not going to ask for as much. So we can fire the people with experience, the one that actually cost a lot but they're capable, and we can replace them with new faces that are cheap. Look at what happened with the Rings of Power plus Privilege. I mean, you had the guy that wrote the actual movies, Lord of the Rings, who are worldwide success. They didn't get him because he's expensive, right? Even if he says he works for free, in reality you still have to pay, so... It's just one example, but there's so many. I mean, Amazon, from last time I checked, was talking about making a Stargate TV show. They're not going to get the writer from the original Stargate. That costs money. That's expensive. It's a talented individual. No, they're going to get some new faces, right? They claim they champion diversity, but in reality they champion the cheaper option. Because if the writer happens to be diverse, but he's experienced and he actually knows how to write, they're not going to hire him. It's business. But unfortunately, it's not sustainable business. They love this word, sustainability. So anyway, this whole writing strike is now affecting Sunday Night Live. It's absolutely shocking that Sunday Night Live actually has writers. Like, have you watched it? Incredibly unfunny. Like, there is absolutely not a single joke where I laughed. It was preachy. It was moralizing. It was like listening to a sermon from the church. It's kind of like all the other comedy shows that happen to be the late night comedians of the United States. All of them have literally the same opinions, literally the same takes, literally the same political orientation, support the same party, and their jokes suck. If you want to know just how bad their jokes suck, remember when COVID was a thing and they had to stream from their own bedrooms, but they didn't have access to all of the orchestra, all of the music, they didn't have access to the ha-ha-ha laugh tracks? They were abysmal. Like, YouTubers are more funny than these guys, and I'm not just saying it because I'm a YouTuber, but I'm willing to bet I am more funny than most of those guys. But, yeah, so it's interesting that they cannot operate without a writer. Like, this goes to show that the fact that the people that are there do not have their own opinions. Like, seriously, I know YouTubers that do have writers. So usually the big ones, right? Like, they can afford it. YouTubers that have like a million subs or or more than that. Sometimes they can hire a writer and they're like, okay, well, this is what I want to make. This is the YouTube video. Can you give me a couple of tips? Give me a couple of hints, a couple of jokes that I can incorporate here and there. But I guarantee to you that if the writer would quit, the YouTuber would still be able to produce the stuff because it's material that's honest. It's material that comes from the heart. They understand their audience and they know how to make a joke. But to me, this is shocking. Like, imagine, like Chris Rock, do you think he has a writer? Maybe he does. Like Chris Rock might have a writer. But I am willing to bet that without the writer, Chris Rock can still do stand-up comedy. Like, it is astonishing. Like, even with the low-level bar of comedy that the people have at SNL have, they're incapable of producing anything unless they have a writer to write for them. It's like, okay, well, why doesn't the writer then present the show? Why do you need like a figurehead to present the show? Because that's the other thing, like they make it sound like it's their own opinion. Like whenever they moralize Trump for something like that, it makes it sound like it's actually their take. When in reality, it's a team of writers, it's the company's take, right? Tucker Carlson, another example. Like Tucker Carlson, I'm pretty sure has a writer. But I'm willing to bet that Tucker Carlson is not going to be affected by the writer's strike if his own writer would participate in the strike. He would not be affected at all. Because you can tell. You can really tell like the type of people that require a prompter and the type of people that can talk freely. Usually the people that can talk freely, they move their heads around like this and you see them at speaking events and they're willing to debate and be challenged. The people who never do debates, it's probably because they're reading from a prompter and they look at like this. Right? But the more interesting thing is the claim that these companies are making a lot of money and they're not sharing it with the writers. I mean, I don't know. Do they make a lot of money? Because I see many entertainment companies going broke, right? Like Vice Magazine, BuzzFeed. I don't know about TV, but I assume it's bad over there because the main problem is what's hitting YouTubers as well right now. It's the advertisers, right? Like there's less money to go around. The economy is not doing as good. So what ends up happening is that there's less advertisers, so there's less money. I don't know why these writers think that there's a lot of money. Maybe they're right, but there's also ChatGPT. And I'm telling you, that thing is a nightmare if you're a writer. It's a nightmare if you're a person like me, because I already see AI popping up and starting to compete with streamers. So I know that in a couple of years, I may be on the chopping block as well. But if I was a writer right now, I would have been quiet. Anyway, right, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.